not mean Panchayati Raj. Now, what kind of simultaneous election is this? This becomes a separate election. And let me tell you, there are 543 MPs and 4,120 MLAs. For 5,000 legislators, you are talking about simultaneous election. And 30 lakh Panchayati Raj members you have excluded as of no consequence. Secondly, they say now Panchayat elections will be held within 100 days. Now, election within 100 days, after 100 days, is not a simultaneous election. It's a separate election with the entirely separate bandobast, a new bandobast, everything from men and machinery, security, everything is afresh. And thirdly, the same machine, 15 million people who are just, who have not even recovered from the fatigue of a general election are pushed back into the election a second time. Now, this is not fair. And finally, only on this subject, there are other points. Finally, the people who come to vote, they are also the petty workers here and there. They will be taking leave to come and vote. And if they have to do it a second time, half of them, I'll give it you in writing, they cannot come back. So if lakhs of voters are denied this voting right because they cannot come back, you are denying them their constitutional right. For what objective, what purpose? Therefore, it doesn't make any sense. Secondly, the committee has said that suppose there is a state assembly falls for some reason, not that there will be no election because of simultaneous election being in operation, election will be held. If election will be held, it is not a simultaneous election, it's a staggered election, but it will be held only for the remainder of the period. Another objection there by me, that people spend crores of rupees for a 5-year election. Here they will be spending crores of rupees for a 2-year election, 2.5-year election. So what simultaneous election are we talking about?
Okay. In your book, India's Experiment Democracy, the idea I got was the elections are also associated with something called empowerment of people, citizenry. I want to know from you, how come elections have somehow got associated with governance? Because the political narrative of one nation, one poll is more on the governance side and less on the empowerment side. How has that shift happened, Dr. Quraishi, in our political spectrum? ये shift कैसे हुआ? Vote is about empowerment. It has shifted to governance.
Yes, very, very good question. And it happened only because of the political machination. Because politicians wanted it that way. And which is very wrong. In fact, I remember one conference in which Mr. Bhartri Mahtab was the MP from BJD from Odisha, now in BJP. He said, have you asked the people, what do they want? And he said the people want frequent elections, repeated elections, for the simple reason that their importance lies that they are totally powerless people. The only power they have is the power of vote. And because of the election, how many times have you seen an MP and MLA just disappears for 5 years and people have to put posters, Gumshuda ki talash, missing, and 5 years he goes missing. At least because of repeated election, he comes back to the door of the people and comes with folded hand. Therefore, for real democracy at the grassroots, frequent election is a good idea. And I am happy to cite one slogan which I heard in a youth parliament in Pune, where a girl from Chhattisgarh said कि जब जब चुनाव आता है, गरीब के पेट में पुलाव आता है, so repeated elections means repeated employment for these workers. Last estimate was 2019 election that 60,000 crores were spent. Now, is it good for the economy or bad for the economy? I have written many times to the articles you refer to that this is very good for the economy, that the money is recycled from politicians, it is going to the poor people, the workers, the painters, the drivers. So it's a good thing. Now the estimate is 1 lakh crore. Very good thing. So at least the money is regularly recycled and goes to the poor. So and poor empowerment, political empowerment, which was your original question. I think the only limited purpose, and there also let me tell you, there is a lack of sincerity. It is repeatedly said that because of the frequent election and because of the model code, everything comes to a standstill. I dare say you just download the model code and you'll find only new schemes are disallowed. New scheme. Why should new scheme come to your mind only 2 weeks before? So therefore, all the other work continues. In fact, we have called someone's cabinet secretary 2 3 times in my time that please tell the government that no new scheme has to, old scheme has to be stopped. It can continue, and in the case of a natural disaster, flood, drought, or anything, even new scheme can be started only with prior knowledge and permission of the election commission. And finally, so if there was sincerity in the thing, the elections which have been held in the last 10 years would have been compressed because it is in the hands of the election commission and